What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today, starting off a video on the truck. So this video, I kind of wanted to do a review on the programmer. What I have is an Edge Evolution CTS2. Kind of a background. This pickup is my first diesel. I've never owned a diesel before I owned this pickup. This video is kind of like a beginning into a programmer for a diesel pickup. Or if you have a diesel but you've never had a programmer before and you kind of want to look and see what they do before you go out and drop $500, $600, $700 on one, that kind of a thing. So, you know, it's like an intro into a programmer. Hopefully the truck running doesn't just destroy the audio. So here's a startup for you. From what I've been told, like I said, this was in the truck when I got it, so I don't know like how to install it really. But what I've been told is that it's a super easy process. Just here in the middle is just a speedometer, right? And you see it says MPH-C. What that stands for, obviously, mile per hour. The C stands for corrected. Okay, you click on that. Now, when you click on that, you can select, you know, a new gauge, alert settings, gauge color, information, and exit menu. So we'll go here. So we'll go here to select new PID. And what this is, these are all the different gauges you can have in that center gauge. You know, throttle position, absolute throttle position, battery voltage, corrected vehicle speed, engine load, engine temp, engine RPM, exhaust back pressure, G-force, G-force calculated, G-force lateral, gear, and TCL. I'm not really sure what TCL stands for. Horsepower, IPR, duty cycle. I don't know what IPR stands for. Injection control pressure, injection pulse width. Don't know what that means. Intake air temp, manifold absolute pressure, mileage average, mileage coach, mileage instructor. The percent grade, the grade that you're on, how, you know, up and down, how long the truck's been running, timing, torque, trans fluid temperature, trans fluid temperature again, trans fluid temperature for an old 99, because 99 was a half year for Fords, the trip odometer, turbo boost. So those are all the gauges you can have with this thing on your screen. I'm going to leave it at corrected vehicle speed, but with this, in the corrected vehicle speed, you can put in what size tire you have. Obviously, I have 35s on the truck, and I have it corrected to show me the actual mile per hour with a 35-inch tire. You can do that with. Go back. You can do that with all of these. Okay, now this is my gear. What gear I'm in? Obviously RPM, IAT. I used to know what that stands for, but now I cannot remember. This is TFT, transmission fluid temperature. This is your average economy, battery, then mile per hour, boost pressure up here, engine oil temperature down here. In this background, you can change it. There's a few different backgrounds you can put in and stuff like that. You push down here. Performance settings is just your stock, level 1. These are tunes for the truck. Stock tune obviously is the way you bought it. Towing tune, I personally don't like the tow tune because it feels to me when I put it in that it feels like the transmission is slipping, honestly. Like, that's what it feels like to me. I have it in the race tune. I enjoy the race tune. The transmission shifts really well in it. It has more than enough power to do anything you want it to do. And it gets decent fuel economy in the race tune. Then you have level 3, the extreme tune. I put the truck in the extreme tune once just because, you know, I was getting egged on by a buddy to do it just to see what the truck would do. When I put it in the extreme tune, this thing, the truck, it didn't idle right. It didn't, you know, it immediately wanted to rev out to like 3,000 RPM. I mean, it just seemed like way too much for the truck. So I took it out of the extreme tune. I leave it in the race tune. I like the race tune. It works well for everything that I want it to do. But then you have all this other stuff. Layout, obviously, how your layout gauges work. You keep records, data logs, performance tests, diagnostics, mileage coach, maintenance manager, settings. There's just so much that this thing can do, you know, and a lot of it I don't have any idea, you know. Like, I haven't even messed with a lot of these things in here because most of it I don't need, you know. Like, I don't even know what an accelerometer is. Vehicle weight, this truck's not 9,900 pounds, but okay. Menu timeout, 300 seconds, sure. Show swipe tutorial, off. English, and you can factory reset the thing there. But I mean, this thing, it will record and help you out with anything and everything you can come up with. I mean, really, the top gauge up here, no notifications. This thing, it will keep track of like engine codes and stuff like that, and like tell you what the engine codes mean and all that kind of stuff. But the only thing that this programmer does not keep track of that I wish it would, like, you cannot have a gauge on this programmer for your pyrometer. If you go get the Edge CTS2, you're stuck with a manual pyrometer gauge. This programmer here does not have an option for a pyrometer, and I'm so sorry that this video's shaking the whole time. I'm trying really hard to stay steady, but the truck's running because this thing wouldn't light up without the truck running. But that's the only thing I found that I dislike about this, is that you cannot have, that it doesn't have a pyrometer on it. I've tested the speedometer on it next to it was a 2018 Dodge Charger, brand new. I mean, the car has less than 5,000 miles on it. And it was spot on with that Charger. In my opinion, it is worth it to go purchase this programmer for your truck just because of what it does keep track of. You know, like anymore, you can go to O'Reilly's and any other store like that, and they'll read your engine codes for you. But what's the point if you can have this? Like, yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay $500 to have my engine codes read. You know, I can already hear those comments, but it makes perfect sense to buy one. It really does, because the truck, I put it in the stock tune just to see, you know, just so I could speak to what the truck ran like stock compared to what it runs like with the programmer controlling how the truck runs. This thing is a freaking dog without in the stock tune. I don't know if it's because the truck's older. I don't know if this truck would be a million times more ridiculous with a new engine in it. You know, I don't know. But what I do know is that when I put this truck in the stock tune, it's a dog. Like, it's a noticeable difference. Very, very noticeable difference between the stock tune and the race tune. One thing about this is, I don't know, I think you can hook up a dial gauge to it, you know, like a 4-position switch for the different tunes. I think you can hook one up, but I'm not positive on that. But what I do know about it is when you go into the menu and you want to switch between tunes, you need about 5 minutes of time to do that, because it takes a while for this thing to switch tunes. It takes, I mean, about 5 minutes for this thing to switch tunes. And it doesn't matter what tune you're going to. It takes 5 minutes. While you're switching tunes, your engine light will come on, just so you know. And it'll guide you, like it'll say, okay, turn the switch off, press to continue, and then it'll say turn the key back on, touch the screen to continue, that kind of stuff. But as far as like, is it worth $600 to go buy this thing? Yes, absolutely, it's worth $600, in my opinion. You know, I have a buddy who does not have a programmer in his truck whatsoever. I get 5 miles a gallon more than he does. I blow the doors off of him as far as power goes. There's no reason not to, unless you think that you're not responsible enough with it, or you don't have a built, like, if you have a bone stock transmission with 150,000 miles on it and you buy this programmer, you're gonna blow it up. That's just the way it's gonna be. That transmission is not going to hold up to the amount of power that's going to be coming out of this engine once you put that in. Unless you're responsible. I mean, if you're responsible enough to not plant your foot in it all the time because you like the way the turbo sounds, which, guilty, I do it. You're gonna hurt stuff. The transmission's not gonna hold up to it. And that's kind of like an across the board for diesels. Like the transmissions they use, they're not rated for what the engine is capable of. On the Extreme Tune, I've heard guys say that with the Extreme Tune, if you have stock injectors, you will screw your injectors up. Again, that's kind of a responsible driving thing, I think. But again, I don't have any experience with that kind of stuff because I've only owned this truck for about a month and a half, and that's all the experience I have with this programmer. But from a beginner standpoint, yes, it's worth it. Yes, you'll figure it out. It's very easy. It's very user-friendly. The directions for it and everything, how it tells you to do stuff, all of it is super simple. So yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about getting a programmer, this is a great choice. For me, at least, coming from, you know, with no knowledge really. But Edge offers kits. You can get this programmer with an exhaust and an intake in there, I believe $1,500. I think that's what Edge is asking for the kit. And it's turbo back straight pipe. It's a 4-inch. It's what you need. That's it. But all in all, if you're thinking about a programmer and you're looking at the Edge CTS2 for your anything, they make them for all the diesels, get one. Honestly, do it. I mean, if you have the $500 or $600 or $700, whatever it is, and you can afford that, it's absolutely worth it. You will not be disappointed with this programmer. We'll just put it that way. But I'm starting to ramble, so I'm gonna shut her down. Thank y'all for watching. If you made it this far, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you're here for the first time, hit that subscribe button. We'll see y'all in the next one.